right now, out of every 100 seniors who are eligible for massive property tax reductions, only 8 actually get them.
Yeah, it's pretty staggering.
I mean, 92 out of 100 are paying hundreds or like thousands of dollars every single year that they legally do not owe.
Right, and it's because of this silent structural drain. It's what we can call the bureaucracy tax.
The bureaucracy tax. It's like having a leaky pipe behind your drywall.
Oh, exactly. You don't see the water damage right away.
Right. You just get used to that slightly higher water bill every month. You just assume that's what water costs now.
Well, we accept the baseline we're given. Like, we assume the number on a government bill or utility statement is just the definitive final number.
Yeah. But in the realm of senior benefits, assuming the system will automatically charge you the correct discounted rate is a really expensive mistake.
A remarkably expensive mistake, yes.
So, welcome to the deep dive. For you listening right now, whether you're helping a parent navigate retirement, or you're on Social Security yourself, or you just want to be the sharpest person at your next family dinner, grab a mental notepad.
Definitely. There's a lot to cover.
Our mission today is to look at a stack of incredibly timely updates for June 2026 regarding 5 major bills that seniors are legally exempt from paying. But millions are still paying them anyway.
And what really unites all of these sources today is the massive gap between legislation and actual implementation.
Right, the gap.
Like Congress or a state legislature passes a law to protect seniors from certain costs, but they don't build a mechanism to automatically apply that protection.
The government doesn't call you.
No.
No.
And the utility company doesn't text you to say you're exempt either.
So you have to take action.
Exactly. And to make sense of this, it really helps to understand the psychology of the bureaucracy. We can break it down into a simple framework.
Okay, let's hear it.
So federal programs tend to look backward, state programs look forward, and local programs just don't look at all.
Federal looks backwards, state looks forward, local doesn't look at all. I like that. So we're going to use that framework to unpack this whole stack of sources.
Yes, let's start with the invisible deductions.
The money that vanishes before it even hits the bank account. We're talking about Medicare and medications. Bill number 1 in our sources is that $22.90 Medicare Part B premium.
Right. Every single month, that amount is pulled directly out of a Social Security check before the recipient ever sees a dime.
And I feel like most people just treat this as the permanent reality of being on Medicare, like a mandatory cover charge for healthcare.
They do. But there are 3 federal programs designed to pay this premium on your behalf, known as Medicare Savings Programs.
Okay.
The most comprehensive one is the Qualified Medicare Beneficiary Program, or QMB.
QMB. Got it.
And QMB doesn't just eliminate that Part B premium. It wipes out deductibles, co-payments, co-insurance.
Really? All of it?
All of it. The out-of-pocket costs Medicare normally passes on to you are just gone.
Okay, but whenever we talk about federal relief, the catch is always the income limit. And looking at the notes here, the limits seem incredibly tight.
Oh, they are very strict. Think about how fragile these limits are. The cutoff for a single person to qualify for QMB is roughly $1,350 a month.
Wow, that's low.
Or about $1,824 for a married couple. But here's the mechanism that really traps people.
The cliff, right.
Exactly, the cliff edge. If you make even $1 over that limit, you fall off. You don't get a proportionally reduced benefit. You just lose the entire thing.
A literal cliff edge penalty. So if someone brings in $1,351, they lose out on having all their deductibles covered.
That is the harsh reality of the system, which is why understanding exactly what counts as countable income is so crucial.
But wait, what if they're just slightly over? Is there any relief?
Yes. So even if a single person's income is slightly higher, up to about $1,816 a month, there are 2 tiered fallback programs.
SLMB and QI, right.
You got it. At the very minimum, those fallback programs will still eliminate that $22.90 monthly charge entirely.
But again, this goes back to our leaky pipe analogy. Nobody enrolls you in QMB or SLMB.
No, they don't.
The money just keeps coming out indefinitely until you actively raise your hand. But the fix here is surprisingly low tech.
It really is. You just have to call 1-800-MEDICARE or go to Medicare.gov, find your state's Medicaid office and file a single application.
And if you meet that threshold, putting in that paperwork puts over $2,400 back in your pocket annually.
Which, that's a tremendous return on investment for an hour of paperwork.
It is. But let's move to bill number 2, which is prescription drug costs.
Now, hold on. I'm looking at these notes and I'm a bit confused.
Okay, what's the hang up? Well, if my mom or my neighbor has Medicare Part D, they already have drug coverage. Why are we talking about them needing relief from drug costs?
Oh,
Isn't the whole point of Part D that medications are covered? Why do people confuse being covered with being free?
because the terminology is inherently misleading. Like, covered simply means you hold an insurance policy and the drug is on their approved list, their formulary.
Right.
It does not mean the medication is actually affordable. You might still owe a 30% co-insurance on a drug that retails for over $1,000.
That's brutal.
Yeah, and that is where a federal program called Extra Help, or the low-income subsidy, steps in. It explicitly caps your out-of-pocket drug costs.
So what are the caps for 2026?
In 2026, it caps them at $5.10 for generics and $12.65 for brand name medications.
Wait, a hard cap. So if the retail price of the brand name drug is like $800 a month, they only pay $12.65.
Regardless of the retail price, there's no hidden premium to join, no deductible to hit first. That is the absolute ceiling.
That's incredible. What's the catch?
The single income limit in 2026 to qualify is $23,940 a year, which is roughly $2,000 a month.
Okay, so if you're under that threshold and you haven't applied through the Social Security Administration, you're paying hundreds of dollars more than you have to.
For medications you literally need to survive.
Jeez. So we have an invisible deduction for Part B and out-of-pocket bleeding for Part D. But here's where we get a genuine aha moment in the sources.
Yes, the shortcut.
Right, because we were just talking about how these bureaucracies don't talk to each other. But there's a hidden shortcut here where the system actually does something automatically.
This is one of those very rare, beautiful instances where the bureaucracy works in your favor.
So how does it work?
If you do the work to qualify for any of the Medicare Savings Programs we just discussed, QMB, SLMB, or QI, the system flags your file. You are automatically enrolled in Extra Help for your prescriptions.
Yeah.
You do not need to fill out a second application. It simply kicks in.
I love that. You fix the Part B leak and the Part D leak fixes itself. That is the exact kind of efficiency we need.
Exactly.
So we've seen how the federal government quietly drains your check before you even see it. But let's look at the other extreme. What happens when the bill isn't invisible?
When it's sitting right on your kitchen counter.
Screaming at you to pay it by Friday. That brings us to bill number 3, heating and cooling costs.
And this moves us into the second part of our framework. State programs look forward, and they are incredibly time sensitive.
Right, because it's June 2026 right now, which makes utility costs the absolute most urgent part of our deep dive today.
Definitely. We are looking at the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program, or LIHEAP.
And I want to be really clear for you listening, this is not a discount. It's not a 10% off coupon for your electric bill.
No, not at all.
This is a direct payment from the program to your utility provider to entirely wipe out what you owe.
But timing is everything. The summer cooling assistance window is open right now in most states, but it operates on a strict first-come, first-served basis.
Because Congress allocated just over $4 billion for 2026, right?
Right, and that money is distributed to the states, and every state burns through its allocation at a totally different pace.
It feels like a game of musical chairs for federal funding. Like if I perfectly qualify but I don't apply until August, the music might have already stopped.
Let's actually adjust that analogy. It's less like musical chairs and more like a massive water tower for your entire state.
A water tower, okay, tracking.
Congress pumps it full of funding once a year. When a massive heat wave hits in July, everyone opens their taps to get relief for their AC bills.
Oh, I see.
By the time mid-August rolls around, that tower might be bone dry. If you don't file your paperwork early, it doesn't matter how thirsty you are or how legitimately you qualify, the water is simply gone.
That makes total sense. The state doesn't print more money just because you meet the criteria. They just turn you away.
Yeah.
Looking at the dates, Pennsylvania's deadline is June 30th. That is days away from right now.
And Nebraska and Virginia have windows open through the summer. Alabama is open through September.
And looking at the implementation rules, there's actually a priority lane. If you are 60 or older, most states let you apply a full month before the general public window opens.
Which is a huge advantage you have to leverage. The actionable step here is to dial 211.
the National Social Services line.
Yes, it's available in every state. You just tell them you want to apply for LIHEAP and they connect you to the local intake office.
But there's a second layer to this in the sources, a bonus program called the Weatherization Assistance Program.
Oh, this one is fantastic.
My initial thought reading this was, why would the government pay to fix my house if they're already paying my utility bill? It seems redundant.
It's actually a brilliant macroeconomic strategy. See, LIHEAP is a temporary patch. It pays the bill for one season. But the Weatherization Assistance Program is the permanent fix. The government realizes it is way cheaper to fix your leaky house once than to pay an artificially high utility bill every summer for the next 10 years.
Makes sense. And if you qualify for LIHEAP, do you qualify for weatherization?
Generally, yes.
So what does that physical process actually look like? Are they just handing you a tube of caulk and wishing you luck?
Not at all. They send certified contractors to your home completely free of charge. These professionals conduct a full energy audit.
Okay. And then what do?
They'll install heavy-duty insulation in your attic, professionally seal up drafts around doors and windows, and they will even repair or entirely replace failing heating and cooling equipment.
Wow, so they are modernizing the thermal envelope of your home.
Exactly, which permanently lowers the energy bills going forward.
And I want to underline this for you listening. You do not have to choose between the two.
No, you can get both.
You can get the direct LIHEAP payment right now to keep the lights on, and get the free weatherization to ensure the bills stay low next year.
It is the ultimate 1-2 punch against utility inflation.
All right, so we just talked about forward-looking state programs and urgent bills happening right now. Let's transition back to the federal level.
Back to the backwards-looking programs.
Right, and talk about a bill that is unfairly punishing you for something that happened 2 years ago. This is Bill number 4, the IRMAA surcharge.
IRMAA stands for Income-Related Monthly Adjustment Amount. It is a Medicare surcharge that catches so many retirees completely off guard because it operates on a time lag.
So how does the lag work?
If your income as a single filer was above $103,000 in 2024, Medicare is charging you extra on top of your standard premium right now in 2026.
And these surcharges are heavy. They range from nearly $70 all the way up to over $440 extra per month.
It's a massive hit.
But we have to break down the sheer absurdity of this mechanism. It's like they're forcing you to drive your financial car while only letting you look through a 2-year-old rearview mirror.
That's the perfect way to put it.
I mean, if I sold a house in 2024, or if I retired and stopped getting a paycheck, my 2026 income isn't anywhere near what it used to be. I am being heavily penalized for ghost money, money that is long gone.
The rearview mirror analogy is spot on. The federal government uses your 2-year-old tax return because it is the most recent verified data they have.
They don't know you retired yesterday.
Exactly. But the only way to force them to look through the windshield at your current reality is by filing a very specific piece of paperwork.
Form SSA 44, the life-changing event appeal.
Right.
But what actually qualifies as a life-changing event? Like, does a really bad year in the stock market count?
No, unfortunately, market fluctuations or bad investments do not count. It has to be a structural life change.
No, such as?
The approved categories are marriage, divorce, the death of a spouse, a severe loss of pension income, or work reduction, which includes retirement.
Okay, so if any of those structural changes happen since that 2024 tax return, you file Form SSA 44.
Yes. You show them your actual current estimated income for 2026. They recalculate on the spot, and the surcharge is reduced or entirely eliminated.
But the bureaucracy always has a trap. And looking at the rules for the SSA 44, this trap is particularly brutal.
The trap is the clock.
Yes, the clock.
You only have a 60-day window from the exact date you receive your IRMAA notice in the mail to file that appeal.
60 days.
60 days. If you look at that letter, get frustrated, and let it sit in a pile of mail on your kitchen counter,
And you missed the window.
you are stuck. You have forfeited your right to appeal, and you will pay that massive surcharge for the entire calendar year, waiting for the next annual recalculation.
So you can download Form SSA 44 directly at saa.gov, but you have to act the moment you open the envelope.
Do not wait.
Which brings us to the final piece of our framework. We covered federal programs that look backward at your old taxes. We covered state utility distributions that look forward at the summer heat.
And now we arrive at the programs that don't look at all.
The deepest well of wasted money in our sources happens right in our own backyards at the local level. Bill number 5 is Senior Property Tax Exemptions.
Let's revisit that staggering statistic from the beginning.
Over 9 million seniors are eligible for property tax relief. Only 8% apply.
which means 92% of eligible homeowners are leaving thousands of dollars on the table.
Over 8 million people out there are happily or unhappily overpaying their property taxes every single year simply because they do not know a piece of paper exists.
It's hard to believe, isn't it?
I genuinely struggle to understand this. In the era of artificial intelligence and big data, the government knows exactly how old I am.
They certainly do.
The DMV knows my birthday. The IRS knows my birthday. Medicare started sending me pamphlets when I was 64 and a half. Why doesn't the county assessor just automatically apply the senior discount to my property tax?
Because you are assuming a level of technological integration that simply doesn't exist at the county level.
Sure is.
Seriously, the IRS and Medicare are massive federal databases. The DMV is a state database. Your county property tax office is operating on completely separate, often antiquated local software.
So they don't talk to each other.
They do not talk to the DMV. They do not interface with Medicare. As far as the county assessor's computer is concerned, you are the exact same age you were on the day you bought the house.
So they just assume you're 75 years old forever.
Forever. Until you hand them a physical piece of paper that proves otherwise.
So they just keep printing and mailing you the tax bill at full price, and people pay it because it looks official.
Indefinitely. And, there's a psychological barrier here, too. Many homeowners are actually terrified of their county assessor.
Really? Why?
They think, if I call them to ask for a senior discount, they might reevaluate the value of my home and raise my taxes instead.
Oh, I could see people worrying about that.
But that is a myth. Exemption applications and property assessments are handled by completely different mechanisms. Applying for your legal age-based exemption does not trigger a reassessment of your home's value.
That is a huge relief to clarify. And the updates for 2026 across the country show how valuable this is. Like in New York, the Enhanced STAR program income limit just rose to $98,700.
That's a big jump.
Texas expanded their homestead exemptions, which took effect this year. Illinois raised their senior freeze income cap to $65,000.
These aren't minor tweaks. These are programs that can freeze the assessed value of your home so your taxes stop going up, or they can knock tens of thousands of dollars off the taxable value immediately.
So how does someone actually bypass this blind system today? What is the actionable step to get the county to recognize your age?
The most direct route is to open up your computer or phone and search for your specific county name. Not your state, your county.
Okay, county name.
Followed by the exact phrase. Senior Property Tax Exemption 2026. It will usually take you directly to a PDF application.
And if they don't want to use the internet,
just pick up the phone. Call your county assessor's office and say, I am over 65. What property tax exemptions do you offer and how do I apply?
That's simple.
It's usually a one-page application and it creates savings that lock in and continue every single year for as long as you own that home.
One phone call to save thousands of dollars year after year. Man, let's pull all of this together.
Let's do it.
We've navigated federal health care, state utilities, backward-looking surcharges, and blind local taxes. When we look at this entire stack of sources, the big picture synthesis is crystal clear.
The barrier to keeping your own money is not eligibility.
Right. The system is flawed, but the laws are on the books. You already qualify. The barrier is action.
That is the core truth here. The bureaucracy tax is voluntary, but only if you know how to opt out.
From downloading Form SSA 44 to fix that rearview mirror IRMAA surcharge,
to dialing 211N to claim water from the state LIHEAP tower before it runs dry,
to just calling your local county assessor to prove you actually turned 65, one single targeted step is the only thing standing between you and significant life-altering savings.
Exactly.
And that is exactly why we do this deep dive, because this information shouldn't be hidden in dense legislative PDFs or buried on page 4 of a government website. It should be out in the open.
It absolutely should be.
So for you listening, I have a request. Share this knowledge, share this deep dive. One conversation with a parent, a neighbor, or a friend who is stressed about their bills can literally change their financial reality.
You could be the reason they get their home weatherized for free.
Or stop overpaying their property taxes.
I completely agree. And I want to leave you with a final thought to ponder, something that really highlights the friction in all of this.
Go for it.
We have spent this time mapping out how to navigate this maze. We've decoded the forms, the deadlines, the disconnected databases. But if the state already possesses our birth dates, our tax returns, and our home deeds, why do we accept a system where the burden of proof for these vital exemptions falls entirely on the citizen?
Wow, yeah.
If Amazon can suggest exactly what you want to buy based on a dozen different data points, what would it actually take for our government to build a system that applies these legal savings automatically?
Now that is a question worth asking. It goes right back to that leaky pipe behind the drywall. Why do we have to be the ones to rip open the walls and find the water damage when the government holds the blueprint to the house?
Exactly.
Thank you so much for joining us, for giving us your time, your focus, and your curiosity. Until next time, keep asking questions and keep checking your blind spots.